The battle between good and evil isn't just an old story. It's happening right now, all around us, in ways our eyes can't always see. In the time of Jesus, this invisible war was brought out into the open. Dark spirits tormented the innocent, lives were shattered, and souls were held captive. But then, Jesus stepped into the darkness, and the darkness trembled. This is the true story of when Jesus cast out demons. Jesus and his disciples crossed the sea to the region of the Gadarenes. As soon as Jesus stepped onto the shore, a man came running toward him from the tombs. This man was not normal. He lived among the dead, a place of decay and isolation. People had tried to restrain him, to bind him with chains and irons, but he shattered them all. No one could control him. He was a force of pure, untamed chaos. Day and night, his screams echoed through the hills. In his agony, he would cut himself with stones. His life was utterly destroyed by an unseen enemy. But the moment this broken man saw Jesus from a distance, something incredible happened. He ran, not to attack, but to fall on his knees in worship. A voice, not his own, cried out from him, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you, by God, do not torment me." Even the demons, the very forces of rebellion and chaos, knew exactly who Jesus was. They recognized his divine authority and were terrified of him. Jesus looked at the tormented man with compassion and spoke with absolute authority. "Come out of him, unclean spirit." Jesus then asked, "What is your name?" The voice from within the man replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." This wasn't just one or two spirits. It was a military-sized force, an army of thousands of demons, all possessing and tormenting this one man. Imagine the sheer weight of that evil, the constant internal battle he must have faced every single moment. The demons, now facing their ultimate judge, began to beg for mercy. They pleaded with Jesus, "Do not send us out of the country, into the abyss, the place of their final punishment." They knew their time was limited before the King of Kings. Nearby, on the hillside, a large herd of about 2,000 pigs was feeding. The demons saw an escape and made a desperate plea, "Send us into the pigs, that we may enter them." Jesus gave them permission, and instantly the unclean spirits left the man and entered the pigs. The entire herd, now possessed by this legion of darkness, rushed violently down the steep bank, straight into the sea, and were drowned. The pig herders fled, telling everyone in the town and countryside what had just happened. People came running from all over to see this incredible event for themselves. When they arrived, they didn't see chaos. They didn't see the wild man they all feared. They found the man who was once violent and possessed, now sitting calmly at the feet of Jesus. He was fully dressed and, most importantly, in his right mind. A life that had been completely ravaged by darkness was now completely and instantly restored by the power of Jesus. The storm inside him was gone, replaced by perfect peace, but instead of rejoicing, instead of worshipping the one who had performed this miracle, the people were filled with fear. They saw the power, but they didn't understand the love behind it, and they asked Jesus to leave their region. This wasn't an isolated event. Another time, a man who could not speak was brought to Jesus. A demon had stolen his voice, silencing him and cutting him off from the world. Jesus didn't perform a long ritual. He simply spoke one command. And in that moment, the demon was cast out, and the man who had been mute for who knows how long began to speak clearly. The crowd was utterly amazed. They said, "Never was anything like this seen in Israel." But not everyone celebrated. The religious leaders, the Pharisees, saw the same miracle but offered a twisted explanation. They accused He casts out demons by the prince of demons. They saw the power of God at work and called it evil. They tried to discredit the source of the healing, to turn people away from the light. Yet Jesus continued his work. No accusation, no lie, no opposition could stop his mission of compassion and deliverance. Then there was the story of a desperate mother, a Syrophoenician woman. She wasn't Jewish, but she had heard of Jesus. She came and fell at his feet, crying out, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is severely oppressed by a demon." Her daughter was being tormented, and this mother's love drove her to seek out the only one who could help. At first, Jesus tested her faith, but she refused to give up. Her persistence, her humility, and her desperate belief in his power were profound. Finally, seeing her great faith, Jesus said to her, "For this statement you may go your way. The demon has left your daughter." He didn't even need to go to her house. His word was enough. The woman ran home, her heart pounding with hope, and she found her child lying peacefully on the bed, completely free. No more screams, no more torment. Only the quiet peace that comes from the touch of the Savior. So how could Jesus do this? He didn't use spells or incantations. He didn't struggle or fight. He simply commanded with authority. Because he is the Son of God. He didn't fight darkness as a soldier fighting an equal. He ruled over it as a king. Darkness has no choice but to obey its creator. His authority is absolute and his power is unmatched. Demonic possession may look different today, but the battle for our souls is just as real. People are still bound. They are bound by addiction, trapped in cycles they can't break. They are bound by fear, paralyzed and unable to move forward. They are bound by depression, hopelessness, and suffocating pride. The same darkness that tormented people back then still attacks us today, seeking to steal, kill, and destroy. But the good news, the incredible news, is that the same Jesus who cast out demons then is still setting people free today. The man possessed by Legion became a preacher, the first missionary to his region. The mute man became a living testimony to God's power. The little girl became a miracle that restored a family. When Jesus enters a life, darkness must leave. Chains must break. And freedom must come. There is no demon stronger than Jesus. There is no darkness louder than his voice. And there is no prison stronger than his power to set you free. If you feel trapped today, call on his name. He is still our deliverer. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, please like and subscribe for more.